What if the very vitamin you take every morning, the one you believe is protecting your heart, fueling your energy, or keeping your bones strong, is silently destroying your testosterone, shrinking your stamina, and robbing you of those powerful morning erections you used to take for granted? I've seen it again and again in my clinic. Men in their 60s and 70s walk in full of frustration. They say things like, "Doc, I eat clean. I take my vitamins. I even walk 3 miles a day. But I still feel weak. My drive is gone. And down there, nothing works like it used to." And they're right to be confused, because no one ever told them that not all vitamins are created equal. Some are poorly absorbed. Some are synthetic imposters. And a few? They actively block the hormones and blood flow that make a man feel like a man. These aren't rare side effects. These are common ingredients found in everyday multivitamins. Stuff marketed to support men's health, but doing the exact opposite. Slowing you down, dulling your edge, eroding your power. But here's the good news. You can flip the script. There are 4 specific vitamins I tell my male patients to toss in the trash immediately, and 4 natural alternatives that have helped hundreds of men over 60 regain their energy, restore their drive, and bring back that firm, confident vitality that doesn't fade after sunset. So if you're a man over 60 who's tired of feeling like half the man you used to be, if you want to fix what's failing without shots, pills, or awkward conversations, then stay with me. What you're about to learn could quietly transform your mornings, your performance, and how you feel about your body. Let's start with the worst offender, the one I call the silent nerve killer. Let me tell you about Mark. He's 67, recently retired from the insurance business, and a man who took pride in doing things right. Daily walks after dinner, oatmeal for breakfast, and a shelf full of supplements, including one he swore by, a high-potency B-complex vitamin. "I take it for energy and nerves," he told me with confidence. What he didn't know was this: the type of vitamin B6 in most of those bottles can quietly destroy the very function he was trying to preserve. Mark had been taking a synthetic form called pyridoxine hydrochloride, found in nearly every over-the-counter B-complex. It's cheap, it's stable. But inside your body, it doesn't always behave. After several months, he started noticing tingling in his feet. Then came the fatigue. But what finally brought him into my office was the whisper he could no longer ignore. His morning erections had disappeared. I ran a few labs, checked his history, and then asked a simple question: "How long have you been taking this exact B-complex?" He looked at the bottle and blinked. "Every morning, probably the last year or so. It's got 100 milligrams of B6. And there it was. Here's the truth most men never hear. Synthetic B6, in doses over 50 milligrams per day, taken consistently over time, can become neurotoxic. That means it irritates and damages your nerves, especially the ones responsible for blood vessel dilation and signal transmission in the pelvic area. The result? Your brain may be ready, but your body can't respond, because the signal never gets through. Even worse, this synthetic B6 competes with the active, usable form your body actually needs, P5P, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate. That's the version that supports dopamine production, stress regulation, and the generation of nitric oxide, the gas molecule that helps your blood vessels relax and expand. And yes, without nitric oxide, no amount of desire will result in performance. So I told Mark the truth. You didn't lose your drive. You've been poisoning your signal system slowly, without even knowing it. We replaced his B-complex with a balanced version that included 25 milligrams of P5P and methylated B12. No overload, no synthetic fillers, just what the body recognizes and uses. 6 weeks later, Mark emailed me one morning. 2 words, no subject line, just, "It's back. Your vitamins are supposed to support you, but the wrong forms, at the wrong doses, will quietly sabotage everything." And Mark was lucky, because the next vitamin trap doesn't just damage nerves, it hardens the arteries that deliver life to your lower half. Let's talk about calcium and why too much of it might be robbing you of your hardness. Mark was lucky. His nerves had a chance to bounce back. But David, his problem wasn't with the nerves, it was with the pipes, and they were starting to turn to stone. David was 72, a retired woodworker with strong hands and a quiet dignity. He came into my clinic not because he was sick, but because something inside him felt like it was slipping away. "I don't feel sharp anymore," he said. And, well, let's just say the morning salute hasn't shown up in months. David had been doing what most men his age are told to do. He took a calcium supplement, 1,200 milligrams per day every single morning for the past 10 years. He was told it would protect his bones, keep his posture strong, and guard against fractures. But no one warned him that calcium, especially in the form of calcium carbonate, doesn't always go where it should. Instead of strengthening bones, much of that excess calcium was circulating aimlessly in his bloodstream. And without the right cofactors to guide it, it began settling in the walls of his arteries, especially the small ones leading to the pelvic region. Let me be blunt. When calcium stiffens your arteries, you don't just lose flexibility in your joints, you lose flexibility where it counts. Because erections rely on blood flow, clean, unrestricted, high-pressure circulation. And if your arteries are calcified, you can pump all the testosterone in the world. But it's like trying to inflate a tire with a clogged hose. That's what happened to David. His performance faded, his stamina dropped, his confidence took a hit. We ran a coronary calcium scan. The numbers weren't terrible, but they weren't clean either. And more importantly, his pelvic blood flow was borderline sluggish. Here's what we did. We immediately cut the calcium supplement. We shifted his intake toward calcium-rich foods, sardines, kale, bok choy, natural sources the body understands. And then we introduced a vitamin K2 supplement, which helps shuttle calcium into bones and away from arteries. Within 2 months, David felt his legs getting lighter. By month 3, he woke up one morning and smiled. "Doc, the flag is flying again." The bottom line? Calcium isn't evil, but too much of the wrong kind, without balance, will harden the very blood vessels you depend on as a man. And if that shocks you, wait until you hear what happened when one of my patients took extra zinc to boost his manhood, and accidentally shut it down instead. After fixing David's calcium mistake, I thought we were in the clear, until Ernesto walked in. He was 65, a retired mechanic from San Diego, fit, strong, the kind of guy who never really aged, until recently. He sat down, looked me in the eye, and said, "Doc, I started taking zinc to help with my testosterone. Now I feel worse, tired, numb, and no matter what I try, nothing's working, down there." Now, here's the twist. Zinc is essential for testosterone production. That part is true. In fact, men who are zinc deficient often suffer from low libido, low energy, and reduced sperm quality. But Ernesto wasn't deficient. He had been taking 50 milligrams of zinc gluconate every morning every day for over 6 months, thinking more was better. It wasn't. What most men don't realize is that zinc competes with other critical minerals, especially copper. When zinc levels get too high, copper gets suppressed, and that sets off a dangerous chain reaction. Copper deficiency leads to reduced nitric oxide production. That means poorer blood flow. And poor blood flow means weak, inconsistent erections, no matter how high your testosterone might be. Not only that, but high-dose zinc has also been shown to suppress the immune system, trigger nausea, cause loss of taste, and ironically, lower testosterone over time. That's what happened to Ernesto. He went from energetic and confident to flat, foggy, and frustrated. And it all started with a bottle that claimed to boost male performance. We pulled his labs, and sure enough, zinc levels, high normal. Copper, dangerously low. Free testosterone, below optimal. I told him the truth. Zinc isn't the enemy, but overdosing is. We cut his zinc dose to a low-maintenance 15 milligrams per day and reintroduced copper-rich foods like oysters, dark chocolate, and liver. And for balance, I added a 2 milligram copper glycinate supplement every other day. 2 months later, Ernesto was back to his old self. Morning energy, clear mind, and yes, firm performance without pushing. Gentlemen, here's the rule. More is not better, especially when it comes to minerals that regulate your hormones. And just when you think you've seen it all, there's one more silent saboteur that still shocks me every time. It's in almost every multivitamin. It pretends to protect your heart, but it could be quietly blocking your nitric oxide and killing your drive. Let's talk about folic acid. Just when you think your supplement shelf is safe, along comes folic acid. It's in nearly every multivitamin, every heart health blend, and it's marketed like a miracle, supporting blood flow, lowering homocysteine, and keeping your arteries clean. But there's one massive problem. Folic acid isn't real folate. Let me explain. George, 70 years old and a former cyclist, came to see me after months of low mood, brain fog, and total loss of libido. He wasn't on any heavy medication. He ate well, and like most health-conscious seniors, he took a multivitamin with 800 micrograms of folic acid every single day. But what he didn't know is this: folic acid is synthetic, and it relies on a process in your body called methylation to become active. Here's where it gets tricky. As we age, that methylation process slows down, and roughly 30 to 40% of older adults have a genetic variation called MTHFR that makes it nearly impossible to convert folic acid into usable folate. What happens when folic acid builds up in your system without being processed? It increases homocysteine, a harmful compound that stiffens arteries. It interferes with nitric oxide production, and over time it silently damages blood flow, especially to the pelvis. George had unknowingly been blocking the very pathway responsible for circulation and performance. His labs told the full story: high folic acid, elevated homocysteine, low nitric oxide markers, and a steep drop in free testosterone. We threw out the synthetic folic acid. I put him on a formula with methylated folate, also called 5-MTHF, which bypasses the MTHFR bottleneck entirely. 6 weeks later, George walked into my office with a grin. "Doc, I think I need a new bike seat. Things are finally working again." The bottom line? Synthetic folic acid might work on paper, but inside your body, it can cause a traffic jam that shuts everything down. Hormones, blood flow, energy, all of it. So now that we've cleared out the trash, let's rebuild from the ground up. Because there are 4 specific vitamins I recommend every man over 60 take daily. And the first one? It's the sunshine nutrient that flips on your testosterone like a light switch. Now that we've cleared the deck of what's dragging you down, it's time to talk about what actually lifts you back up. And it all starts with something shockingly simple: vitamin D3. This is the master switch for male hormones. Without it, your body can't produce testosterone efficiently. And yet, nearly 2 out of every 3 men over 60 are severely deficient, and they don't even know it. Let me introduce you to Leo. He's 66 years old, a former fitness coach who still trains local high school athletes on the weekends. But a year ago, he came to me in a slump. No drive, no strength, no morning confidence, he said. I thought I was just getting old. I asked him one question: "When's the last time you checked your vitamin D levels?" He laughed. "Never." We ran the test. His levels came back at 18 nanograms per milliliter, well below the optimal range of 50 to 70. No wonder he was flatlining. Here's what most men don't know. Vitamin D3 isn't just about bones, it's a pro-hormone that directly triggers testosterone synthesis. It also supports nitric oxide production, which helps blood vessels relax and expand, crucial for strong, full erections. But here's the catch: taking D3 alone is not enough. Why? Because vitamin D increases calcium absorption, and if that calcium isn't directed to the right place, it can start building up in your arteries, just like it did with David in Part 3. That's where vitamin K2 comes in. K2 acts like a GPS, guiding calcium into your bones and away from your soft tissues and arteries. Together, D3 and K2 form the perfect duo for hormonal support, cardiovascular health, and rock-solid performance. For Leo, we started with 5,000 international units of D3 paired with 100 micrograms of K2, MK7 form, per day. Within 6 weeks, his energy returned. By 10 weeks, he was waking up ready for action, no alarms needed. And the best part? His testosterone climbed naturally. No shots, no patches, no drama. If you want your drive back, if you want to feel sharp, strong, and alive again, start with D3 and K2 every single morning. No excuses. But testosterone is only half the battle. Because even with healthy hormone levels, poor circulation will shut you down. That's where the second essential vitamin comes in, a mineral that unlocks your blood vessels and calms your nervous system at the same time. Let's talk magnesium. If testosterone is the engine, blood flow is the fuel line. And without the right mineral to keep that line clear, no amount of horsepower will get you moving. That mineral is magnesium, and I call it the unsung hero of male performance. Let me tell you about Tom. He's 68, a retired contractor who used to climb ladders and lift lumber like a man half his age. But when he came to me, he looked exhausted. "I sleep like garbage," he said. "Leg cramps wake me up, and I can't remember the last time I woke up. Ready." We ran some basic blood work. Total testosterone? Decent. Free testosterone? Not terrible. But his magnesium levels were scraping the bottom of the barrel. Here's why that matters. Magnesium does 3 critical things for a man over 60. It relaxes blood vessels, especially the small arteries leading to the pelvic region. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that blocks testosterone and sabotages sleep, and it supports enzymes that convert inactive testosterone into its active, usable form. In short, it's the nutrient that helps you sleep deeper, circulate better, and perform stronger. But here's the catch. Over 60% of older men are deficient. Why? Because magnesium gets flushed out by common medications, caffeine, alcohol, and stress. Tom had been burning through it for years without even realizing. We started him on 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, a gentle, well-absorbed form that doesn't upset the gut. I told him to take it an hour before bed with a glass of warm water and no screens nearby. Within 2 weeks, he stopped waking up with cramps. By week 4, he told me something else had returned, something he hadn't felt in over a year, a slow-building pressure each morning that reminded him he was still alive, and still a man. Magnesium didn't just fix his sleep, it reopened the pipes. And when those pipes are open, testosterone has somewhere to go. So don't let this mineral fly under your radar. If you're over 60 and not taking magnesium, you're leaving your energy and your manhood on the table. But we're not done yet, because the next 2 vitamins complete the puzzle, supporting your stamina, your focus, and even your fertility. And the first one? It's the forgotten antioxidant that protects your entire reproductive system from oxidative stress. Let's talk about vitamin E. Magnesium keeps your pipes open, but if you want those pipes to stay young, flexible, and firing on all cylinders, you need protection and power. That's where vitamin E and the right B complex come in. Let me introduce you to Frederick. He's 71, a retired piano teacher with a passion for early morning bike rides. Except lately, the rides were getting shorter, and the recoveries were getting slower. "I'm doing everything right," he said, "but I feel like I'm losing my edge, energy, focus, even drive." I took a look at his supplement list. Multivitamin? Check. Fish oil? Check. But no vitamin E. And his B complex? Cheap, synthetic, and overloaded with folic acid and cyanocobalamin. Here's what I told him. Vitamin E, specifically in the form of tocotrienols, is a powerful antioxidant that helps protect your blood vessels and reproductive cells from oxidative stress. As you age, your body faces more damage from free radicals, especially in areas with high blood flow, like your heart and pelvic region. Without protection, those tissues harden, scar, and weaken, leading to sluggish blood flow and even lower sperm quality. But tocotrienol-rich vitamin E? It reduces inflammation, supports nitric oxide production, and helps maintain healthy, flexible vessels. We added 200 international units of mixed tocotrienols to Frederick's routine. Next, we tackled his B vitamins. Instead of synthetic forms like folic acid and cyanocobalamin, I switched him to a methylated B complex, methylfolate instead of folic acid, methylcobalamin instead of cyanocobalamin. Balanced doses, no megadoses, to support nerve health, energy metabolism, and proper methylation, which affects everything from testosterone production to mood. Within 1 month, Frederick was back on his bike, longer routes, better recovery, but more importantly, he told me this. Doc, I didn't just get my energy back, I got my rhythm back." That's what the right vitamins do. They don't hype you up. They restore your natural rhythm, physically, mentally, and yes, sexually. The wrong forms can drag you down, but the right ones? They tune your system like a finely built machine. Now you've seen the 4 worst offenders and the 4 best defenders. But before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with something deeper. Because this isn't just about vitamins. It's about how you feel when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night. Let me close with a challenge. You've seen the truth now. The shelves full of vitamins at the pharmacy, they're not all helping you. Some are quietly draining your energy, dulling your drive, and shutting down the systems that make you feel like a man. But it doesn't have to stay that way, because the solution isn't complicated, it's not expensive, and it's not hidden in some exotic route from halfway across the world. It's about getting the right nutrients, in the right form, in the right balance. Let's recap. You removed the saboteurs, the synthetic B6 killing your nerves, the overloaded calcium turning your arteries into stone, the excess zinc wrecking your mineral balance, the folic acid blocking your blood flow like a traffic jam at rush hour. Then you added the champions, vitamin D3 with K2 to ignite testosterone and protect your arteries, magnesium to relax your vessels and calm your nervous system, vitamin E to shield your manhood from oxidative damage, and a methylated B complex to support energy, focus, and performance from the inside out. This is your vitality formula after 60. And now I want to ask you something serious. When was the last time you woke up and actually felt like yourself? Not stiff, not sluggish, not disconnected, but clear, focused, driven. With that quiet confidence that comes from knowing everything inside you is firing just as it should. Because that version of you, he's still there. He didn't disappear with your youth. He's just been buried under years of misinformation, nutrient imbalances, and silent inflammation. And the only thing standing between you and him is action. So go, check your labels, clear out the imposters, and start feeding your body what it truly needs to thrive. Because you're not done yet, not even close. And the sooner you take back control, the sooner you'll remember what it feels like to wake up strong.